What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the finale of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, aka
the Fat Wuss.
We're the Son of Fanatics. My name is Chris Adams.
And I'm Robert Adams.
And we're doing this breakdown thing here. I'm ready. I'm also not ready. Like, I love this show. I'm gonna start off right off the bat with how do we feel not only about this episode, but about this show in general. And I'm coming right out and going, this show was a friggin' masterpiece, dude. This show, man, if they can do something like this again, if they can capture this magic and replicate it over and over again, well, then they're Marvel. They know how to do that already. They pretty much already do that. But
I wanted this to be longer. Like it feels like that would probably be my only real flaw on this. I love where they were going with it, what they were trying to do, the story that they wanted to tell, the character beats that they hit. I completely get what they wanted. I just would have liked to have seen it fleshed out a little bit more. I would like maybe a little more of Sam and his personal life, or especially Bucky and his personal life. We got like a little bit in the very first episode, and then kind of like a conclusion at the very end, and not really anything in between. This, I'll be honest, the show actually felt like the Falcon and more of the Falcon with a hint of the Winter Soldier in there. So,
and I think that's by design. I think it was supposed to feel that way, which is good. It needed to be, because this show needed to be the transition of Falcon to Captain America. So we needed to see a lot more of Falcon's story.
Yeah. Anyways, so thank y'all for being here as we get this started tonight. If y'all have any questions, comments, anything you want, drop that into the streamlabs.com/cinefanatics. I wonder if we can type that up. Are we able to type it in there? I'll check. But if y'all have any comments, Streamlabs is the preferred. Of course, you could do Super Chat because that's what YouTube wants you to do, but Streamlabs is more preferred. Also, there is patreon.com/cinefanatics. Hop on there. We got some good stuff coming up. Movie watch-alongs. We got movie trivia, scrimmage nights. It's a blast. We've got a lot of fun stuff coming up. Make sure to check out details of all of that when we do the tagline. It's our flagship show. It's generally Tuesday nights, 9:30 p.m. Central Time. That would be 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 Eastern.
It's not generally Tuesday nights. It is Tuesday nights.
Well, you know what? It's been a long day.
Guys, we're going to start doing a drinking game on this channel. Anytime he excuses himself with "it's been a really long day," give yourself alcohol poisoning.
Yeah.
No, don't do that, guys. That's not healthy. Anyway, you're going to test that out. YouTube's been kind of lately with whether or not we can put the Streamlabs link in the chats, because I like to have Google likes to come in and delete these. Huh?
Yeah, looks like it works.
There you go.
In fact, I'm going to go to one step further.
Does it actually work? Yep, there it is. Okay. All good. Anyway, guys, any help you guys can give us there, that would be super, super helpful. Lot of help needed in that direction right now. So anything you guys can do is big support, big help. But let's talk about this episode. This episode was, at times, I'll break down kind of like some of my thoughts I had overall. At times, very quick. It felt a little bit rushed. Like some pieces, some storylines felt a little bit rushed in their conclusion. Other times, it felt like it took the exact amount of time it needed. So like, I'm trying to think, like, for instance, like what exactly felt rushed. A lot of stuff with Walker kind of felt rushed.
Yeah, the stuff with Walker, some of the action at the beginning kind of felt rushed, but you could what it looked like is that was rushed so they could flesh out the speech. Yeah, the main speech that Sam gives. And I feel like in actuality, here's the thing: we all want to see the action. The action is what the MCU is good for. But that speech was probably the most important thing of the entire show. And I like that the more time was given to focus on that speech. So
Exactly. I just forgot I didn't put those in yet. Yeah. The other thing I felt was kind of rushed, and obviously we'll get to a lot of these things when we get to them, but I do feel like, as we said, some of the Bucky stuff felt a little bit rushed there. The conversation that he had with Yori, I was expecting to take a little bit longer than it did, but
I kind of get why it didn't.
I get why it didn't, but I also was like, it's something that felt like it was set up to take longer. In the context of this episode, I understand why other things needed to take precedence over that conversation, but in the context of the entire show, the entire season, I would have wanted a little bit more from that conversation. I also would have wanted.
We'll dive into that more in a little bit, but
yeah, I also would have wanted a little bit more of the conversation between Sam and Karli again, because that conversation that they had a couple episodes ago was fantastic, and I wanted to see them kind of revisit that. But understandably, the show had to go the direction it had to go in to wrap up storylines properly.
Yeah.
So
let's jump into the breakdown.
I got it. You're good.
Let's jump into the fat wuss.
That's just some of the minor gripes that I had with this episode. So this is some of the fun is this. You are crazy. Anyway, first things first. Can we talk about how clean my man's looks right here?
That looks exactly like the comic book. The comic book version of him in this outfit.
Damn near.
And here's the problem with this. There was, especially during the part where he's given the speech, there's like close-ups on his face and neck and everything. And I thought, like, there was a couple times in there I thought the suit looked a little comic booky. Yeah. Like it didn't quite fit. I was like, okay, this is definitely something that looks like was pulled off a comic book page, and that they were kind of him and hawed about it. And I'm wondering if Anthony Mackie's sitting there like giving this acting presence type of thing with the suit on. I wonder how he feels, like how that looks, or how he felt in it. It just looked very comic booky, which I get. It's a comic book show, but Marvel typically, the MCU really hasn't done that too much. Every once in a while, it might dabble in something that feels cartoonish, but yeah. Otherwise, like the suit overall looks fantastic. It was just that in that specific moment.
Yeah, it definitely had it felt like it had like padding in places that made it feel kind of akin to a CW style superhero costume.
Yeah,
but at the same time, they did a good job of like meshing different styles of like the Captain America outfits that we've seen come before. You had like the bright colors from the Avengers outfit. You had the actual like military garb from First Avenger. And then you had kind of like the style that he was rocking with the star across the chest like that from like
Winter Soldier
and Winter Soldier on kind of look. So it kind of took
Strike.
Yeah, it took the version of like all the different kinds of Captain America suits that we've seen, and then meshed it with the actual comic book accurate style that Falcon does wear. So it's actually it was really well done. I thought it looked fantastic, and I was expecting it to look super clean too.
Yeah,
but I'm really, really happy they brought that in. The kind of fast forwarding a lot, like we're not going to like talk about every single moment of this episode. This episode was filled with like a ton of action, so there's not a whole lot to talk about when, oh, that person punched this person and this person kicked that guy. It's like, don't need to break all that down, but there are some like nice little character moments I want to touch on here as we roll through this. The next one being, of course, that Karli called up Bucky, essentially had a phone handed to him that we see come back into play later because it's got the app that the Flag Smashers were using on it. But the conversation that they had where Karli's basically saying, have you never fought for anything bigger than yourself? There's like that. You've never experienced that. And he was like, yeah, that's pretty much all I do. In fact, I failed at it twice. And it's funny because if you actually think about the two times they failed at it was against the Nazis back in World War II. And then against Thanos in Infinity War. So there's two wars that he was in where he himself essentially lost his life against the enemy. So yeah, he's definitely fought for some bigger things, and it's not come out on top.
Yeah.
Till Endgame. But,
that was kind of cute seeing that interaction. It was adorable seeing that interaction because we got really good interaction, like we were saying earlier, between Karli and Sam. But it was nice to see that interaction between Karli and Bucky because Sam is the one who's going to sit down, talk things out, and try to reason. And Bucky thus far has been the coming in with the metal arm and just punching fools type of thing. He's been a bit more reserved in this show than he has been in the MCU, but it's nice seeing them trying to reach him as well. So
he's a bit more stoic. Yeah.
And
I like that Rachel brings up the Batroc storyline went nowhere much. And it's true, but he was never, the thing about him is that he was never really like a big time villain. He was always kind of a joke of a character, so to speak.
I actually would have been fine if he didn't show up in this at all.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised that they really did bring him back into this effect.
They put him in just for like nostalgia's sake, whatever.
And to give somebody with some skills for Falcon to show off against in his first stint as Captain America. But Batroc the Leaper is kind of a crazy villain name. I do like though he mentions that when he looks at Sam's new outfit and says the robes don't make the monk. And it's true because we've seen that in contrast between Sam now being Captain America and what he does as Captain America versus what Walker did as Captain America.
Yeah.
So nice little juxtaposition between the two. Walker, speaking of that guy, we got this friggin' guy is back.
This friggin' guy. Pause for effect.
Sorry, I need to take a drink of water. Guy. This friggin' guy.
I thought they took his costume away from him. Like, I guess they just stripped him the rank and still left him with the Captain America costume that he had. That was dumb. You're almost begging for this guy just to like completely ignore anything anyone's ever told him and just be Captain America anyways.
Yeah, and that begs the question whether he made the costume himself or whether they actually gave him the costume or not. I don't know. I don't care. I would assume they gave it to him, but whatever. We see him kind of come into the fight here. Obviously, he's still a little PO'd that Karli killed his friend. Not made better by Karli's poor communication and what she actually means here.
We don't kill people who matter.
Excuse me? You don't think Lamar's life mattered?
Yeah, I was like, oops.
Which it is, I believe that was probably a nod towards like the Black Lives Matter movement as well. It's kind of like did you not think his life mattered? Kind of a thing. But also just in general, like he's feeling pain. Like, I'm sorry. I knew that guy. His life definitely mattered. And you're going down for saying that. Like, choose your words a little more wisely there, Karli. But we see him kind of jump in. I think we start seeing him kind of break a little bit as they were kicking him down on the ground, and he sees the medals, the honors that he was given in the fights that he's fought on the back of his shield, where he put those back there to kind of remind himself of why he's even in the fight to begin with.
Which is
like
good because it shows that like he had that moment of in rage and emotion killing the dude, but it shows that he's still capable of like an overall general reset. Like he has the ability. He just needs to like have something visually remind him.
Which we saw him like doing that at the end of the last episode. We saw him welding his medals to his shield, and your initial thought is it's an ego thing. I need to be reminded of who I am. I am Captain America. Look at all that I have done. But no, what it ended up being was a reminder of, yes, remember what you have done. Remember who you actually are and why you are in the fight to begin with. And don't get blinded by your emotion and your rage in this.
It's basically meant to humble him. His emotions, basically. Yeah, I as much as I hate the character of John Walker and U.S. Agent, like I actually really like the idea behind this, because like you said, the end of last episode, ego stroke. This episode, it works. It makes sense, and I like it.
Yeah, especially when he's faced with the situation where he has to choose between going after Karli or saving the lives of the people who are in that police tank van, whatever the proper term is for that vehicle. The armored truck. Maybe that's the proper term. I like that.
Paddy wagon.
The paddy wagon. Exactly. I like that you see him like snap out of it though, and he realizes, I'm supposed to be a hero. I'm supposed to be saving lives, not just wrecking people. You see him throw down the shield, though, and I like that because Bucky sees the shield fall down, but I don't think Bucky really saw him up until then. Maybe he did. I can't remember. I don't think he did. No. He saw the shield come down. It's like, what the heck is that? It's a dented up Captain America shield. That's not the Captain America shield. But then you see Walker actually come in and actively try to save the day there. And I thought that was a fantastic moment for the character because it really shows the arc that he came from, especially off of the having done the killing the guy in the middle of the
he did the what?
I'm not gonna
exactly like that.
Not gonna do his scream because Wyatt Russell killed it. 2, I would kill my mic if I tried it.
I just felt the same amount of rage that he had through you.
That's begging somebody to Photoshop that later.
I'm gonna kill you. Okay.
Stop it. You killed my friend. No.
Yeah.
Anyway. So that I thought was an interesting moment for him though, is turning around and trying to actually be the good guy, save the day, like he should have been doing the entire time. But then you see Karli like tackle him off, and there was a brief moment there that I really liked though, was Bucky helping him back up. Brought him back to his feet, and then you see him kind of working with Falcon, and I keep calling him Falcon. At this point, he's Captain America. You see him working with Captain America and Bucky the entire time. I get the show's called Falcon the Winter Soldier, so I'm used to saying Falcon.
There's a shot of the three of them like walking away, like still trying to investigate more before they like split up, whatever. And I saw that scene, and the whole time I'm wondering, I'm waiting for like Sam or Bucky to turn on and go, "What the hell are you doing here?" Like,
yeah.
Like, why are you following us?
Didn't we put you in your place already? You can't sit with us. You can't sit with us.
Seats taken. Can't sit here.
Yeah. Was a good moment, though, where Falcon swooped in, and you see him. Apparently, he's got more than one Red Wing now, though. He's got a couple of Red Wings out, like, helping him lift. They're his muscle, essentially. He doesn't have the super soldier serum, so he's got to have thrusters as his muscle, basically.
Speaking of which, that maneuver that he does with the helicopter, oh my God. When he was like, "Hey, Red Wing, see if there's anyone that has flight training," and then he basically messages the woman, and they do I'm going to count down from 5, grab the controls, and that whole maneuver, I was like, oh, that's so sick. It was so good.
Yep. And guys, also just to let y'all know, if there's anything that we are rolling over that you actually want to talk about in the chat as we go through it, let us know. We can kind of take a pause real quick, see what you bring up, and we can kind of chat about that, because there's definitely, we just watched this, me last night. I watched it again today as I was preparing and everything, and I know you watched it today as well.
Like 7 hours
time to, yeah. So there's a lot that a person can miss on their first viewing or what have you. So if you guys
or their only viewing,
if you guys notice anything as we're rolling through this that you want to highlight, though, let us know in the chat, and we can take a pause real quick. But no, I like that after Falcon. I said it. Yeah, after Falcon came in and swooped in and saved the day, the bystanders were like, "That's the Black Falcon right there," and he's like, "Nah, that's Captain America."
That's extremely cheesy.
Yes. And this episode had a couple moments in it that were definitely like, we have to push the comic book side a little bit more here, in which case it comes across a little bit more corny. But at the same time, if you take a step back and just think about that moment in general, like the people on looking and watching on and what they're saying, Like, that's actually a really cool moment. It might come across corny to us, viewers, but for in their world, that's a good moment. It's a really good moment for the character.
Yeah.
And then I would say we move on to the next point that we want to bring up here is that
Agnes was Agatha all along.
She was Agatha all along.
We knew this before it even started. We knew this, like, obviously.
There came a point within the storyline, pretty much right at the end when they first showed up in Madripoor, and Sharon was walking away, going, "We have an issue," and getting into the car. We had a feeling back then that maybe Sharon, with her newfound attitude, is probably the power broker.
Power broker. I don't know what the power broker is or what the significance of that is, but I just felt like hyping it up for a minute.
Power broker is basically somebody who think of Black Mask and Birds of Prey, but maybe just a little less crazy and a little more power.
I hear power broker and I'm thinking, what's that movie that oh man, I forgot it, with Lakeith Stanfield, the sorry
narrows it down.
Yeah.
Sorry to bother you.
Yeah. Because he was a power caller. It felt like the same kind of thing. Like, you can't stick the word power in front of like a regular word, otherwise it just sounds
power broker. They broke
power
power
stake. Power plumbing. I don't know. It just sounds really ridiculous. That's not a word you could take seriously. So
power. Yeah. So this is kind of funny. So Sharon's the power broker. Let me put on my surprise face.
Don't know exactly what that means, but
here's the thing.
She's the power broker.
Here's the thing. We realize this because Karli calls her the power broker, but she doesn't outrightly say, "Yes, Karli, I am the power broker." She doesn't directly call herself that. She just goes, "Well, I mean, more power than you have," kind of a situation. So we're left up to the assumption that at this point, yes, Karli's calling her the power broker. Therefore, we're gonna go ahead and assume that she's the power broker. But my favorite part about that scene is bye bye Batroc. Trying to say his name properly now. Get off me.
So ceremoniously or unceremoniously just shot and like, all right, well, that's enough of Batroc in the MCU.
Dunzo. Yeah, he's played out now. We've got enough of him.
I guess I really liked I liked Batroc, not so much in this show, but more of just his little bit in Captain America, the Winter Soldier. This is gonna get confusing real quick, but yeah,
just call that movie Winter Soldier.
Well, yeah, we'll call the movie Winter Soldier. This is Fat Wuss and whatever.
Yeah. So that was fun. We never got to see him in the goofy costume he had as a in the comics, but Agent Power Broker in the U.S. Agents, exactly. But yeah, we kind of finished off that storyline with him, and then you kind of see this was Karli kind of starts trying to fight with Sam, and Sam starts going, I'm not going to fight you. We cut over to the Flag Smashers, the other Flag Smashers trying to escape, in which case you now have Walker and Bucky who find them again because Bucky's got the app now since he was handed a phone that has the app on it. So that was what Karli was calling him on. He was able to find their location. And I love that Walker walks out and the first thing he says is, "Mercy bears richer fruit than strict justice." Congratulations, guys. Walker has completed his face turn.
Like, when did he get poetic?
When he snapped out of his crazy super soldier power craze. There's another one for you, power craze.
Power craze.
It makes good things better and bad things worse, unless you can overcome it, and then you'll be fine. It was a real quick move. Just how do we solve this guy's, like, he was in the middle of the town square, everybody was watching him, he killed a guy in cold blood essentially. He's an egomaniac calling himself Captain America every second he gets. And how do we solve this problem? Oh, just have him quote Abraham Lincoln. Done. He's a good guy now. I think there's more to his arc that we still need to see happen. That's what I'm saying.
Is that how you get out of trouble? Like, if I get pulled over for speeding, can I just quote Abraham Lincoln and like, oh, well, have a nice day, sir.
Oh, that's an Abraham Lincoln quote. Well, you just be on your way, sir. No problem.
Yeah.
Well, no, in fact, I'm not even going to give you a ticket. I'm going to give you some money.
Yeah,
that's what you got to do. Yeah, no. There's definitely more of his arc that needs to happen. Again, this is one of the things that felt kind of rushed to me in this episode was, oh, he just snaps out of it, quotes Abraham Lincoln, and we're all good to go now.
Mm-hmm.
Not quite, but it did lead to the funny moment where Bucky was like, Lincoln, really? He's like, it's a great man, great quote. Not when you say it. Yeah. It is good to see them kind of working together, kind of the other side of that arc where he is actually able to work on a team with them. But at this point, he looks more like he's following in their footsteps rather than trying to dictate what they should be doing.
Yeah.
So, Davlen, evening to you. Glad you could join us. And then of course we cut back the fight between Karli and Sam, where Sam's just trying to defend. He's not actually throwing any punches back at Karli here, which is absolutely 100% not only Sam but just the Captain America role in general, especially given the fight that Karli was trying to do. This seems like a very Captain America thing. Like, I'm not going to actually fight you. He didn't really seem like he wanted to fight. Steve Rogers didn't want to fight Tony back in Civil War, but kind of gave him the no choice scenario.
Yeah.
Here, Falcon felt like he had the choice. Sam felt like he had the choice here. And so, again, because he had that conversation with her before, he was trying to talk her down, wanted to go that route. Didn't get that option because Sharon was the one who took care of the business and shot Karli and killed her.
I think she got cat hair in my whiskey.
That's called owning a cat. Anyway, cat stuff aside, I do like that, Karli had what we consider one of those dying revelations where she looks up at Sam and just apologizes. Like, hey, I'm gone, so what else can I say other than I'm sorry that this had to go this way, kind of a thing. So it's a really interesting storyline that they did with Karli. I think they teetered the balance of making her a villain and not a villain too much. I don't know. Is this what did I want out of her character?
She played into the whole thing kind of like Killmonger in Black Panther. The whole, like, they've got a point. They've got a side to them that you agree with, but they just have a really messed up way of delivering it. Yeah. I mean, that seems to be like the common thread between a lot of the good Marvel villains. And so I'm wondering if that's what they're kind of trying to do with a lot of them from here on out, is let's make all the villains likable in that they kind of have good qualities and traits to them. You want to be rooting and cheering for them, but
to some extent.
Yeah.
But they just go about it the wrong way. Like, Thanos really wanted to solve the universe's resource issue.
Yeah.
Went about it the wrong way. Just create more resources, my man. Anyway. Yep. It was an interesting scenario, interesting storyline they went with her. I loved the conversation that Sam had with her in episodes prior, and so I wanted to see some more of that happen here, but that's just not the way that the story needed to go, apparently. But we did get this fantastic shot of him carrying her down to be taken away in the ambulance. And
this is very reminiscent of a lot of famous comic book covers where you've got like the Crisis on Infinite Earths from DC, the Superman holding the broken Supergirl. There was the Dark Phoenix saga of Cyclops holding Jean Grey Phoenix. There's more that I am aware of. I'm just not pulling off the top of my head right now. But yeah, we've seen a lot of this kind of pose, the hero holding someone like that.
Yeah, it's very angelic. It's very angelic in nature.
Mm-hmm. Especially with the wings this time. Yeah, the wings just adds so much more to that image. Oh yeah, death in the family. I was figuring there was a Batman and Robin one also, but yeah, same image.
Yep. Yeah, as Davlen says, as the trope goes, the villain is the hero of their own story. Exactly. I like that Gord said, I wish he would have said I could do this all day. I feel like there was a moment somewhere where that line could have been used, but I'm scared that you're going to find a situation where you're going to use that line and it's going to be, okay, yeah, we get it. You needed to say that line. Just like if anyone would have said on your left here, like, I feel like these lines have kind of been, they're done in the movies and they're kind of done. I don't know if we see Sam ever really say that line, but who knows? Maybe in Captain America 4. So
let's talk about Sam's speech, because that was fantastic.
Yeah, we kind of breezed through a lot of this episode just to get to this point. This is the one that I laid out some notes on. So this is kind of the part of the episode that I really want to dive into to an extent, is this speech that Sam gave to the senators, the people who were trying to pass the bill, essentially, the act, however you define it. First of all, the fact that, the senators come across as they've only held this up just a little bit. And Sam's like, it should have held you up completely. If you didn't think that, if you're not understanding what's going on here, they have a point. He's telling the senators that the Patch Act, exactly. They're telling the senators that now you guys know what it's like for the rest of us out here, who have felt so helpless whenever the big government swoops in and essentially decides things for us and makes these choices for us and whatnot. That's kind of partly the direction he was coming from here. He's like, you know how it feels because now something bigger than yourself had power and control over you. And that was, of course, Thanos. He's talking about Thanos' power and control and wiping out half of all civilization everywhere. He's like, and he's basically saying that, the impact that you guys are making now could be damaging in the same way as, kind of fast forwarding a little bit through the speech, kind of same way as an insane god or a misguided teenager. Essentially, he's putting Thanos and Karli on the same level as them, as the government, who have control over what happens in these people's lives. These people have been displaced from their homes because of the snap and the blip, or whatever we're calling it, the snapping. But yeah, I liked his line. We finally have a common struggle now. And then the senator saying, you just don't understand. And this is where it goes, hold on. I'm a black man carrying the stars and stripes. What don't I understand? And he's obviously speaking to...
It's a good line. It's a really good line right there.
Yeah, because he's bringing up the history of U.S. in erasing, things that happen in black lives in U.S. history. And, we see the comic book version of that with Isaiah, but there's very real world, it's a very real world allegory. There's things that happened in life that this is actually kind of referencing in a way. But I loved it because Sam was spelling it out for the center pretty plainly, though. He's like, look at what's happened to black people in this country for the last hundreds of years, but even for the last few years, what's been going on. And, I've got eyes on me right now that are judging me for holding up the stars and stripes, for representing America, for representing a country that doesn't care about me, essentially. And he's like, despite that judgment, I'm still here. I don't have any serum running through me. I don't have blonde hair. I'm not blue-eyed. The only power I have is I believe that we can do better. And that I think this is like lifting away from like a comic book show or just a TV show. And this is, hey, somebody who knows what they're writing, some people in that writer's room who really have a passion for what they're talking about here. They're trying to connect with the audience. And honestly, they're just kind of using Marvel as the vehicle to get it there.
Well, it makes sense. This is a fantastic speech. So they did a good job.
Yeah. And that tells me that Marvel did the right thing by hiring the right people to write this show. And I know we've got a lot of friends on Twitter who've said you can tell that there were some black people in the writer's room writing this, and 100%, and 100% glad about that, because that was necessary for the point that needed to be conveyed, the story that needed to be conveyed here, the viewpoint, the vantage point that we needed to see. But yeah, so what I really like about this, and kind of like the big point that I want to nail on here from a narrative standpoint, we're watching Sam give this speech to these senators, these higher up government office people. And he's kind of giving them the what for, but he's also doing it in a very leadership way. Like, he's taking on that Captain America mantle and speaking like he's Captain America. He's doing something like how I would imagine Steve would have done it, and talking in much the same way that Steve would have talked. And what I like about that is that he had all those cameras around him. And so everything that he was saying was being televised and captured and broadcasted. And you saw it. His sister was watching. Isaiah was watching.
Torres was watching.
Torres was watching. Everybody was watching. The whole world was watching, which was the name of the episode when Walker killed the man, and the whole world was watching him do it. Mm-hmm. It's a very nice parallel. It's a parallel between the two, how the two held the Captain America title. While the whole world was watching Walker, he essentially abused the role of Captain America. While the whole world is watching Sam, he's showing them how Captain America is supposed to be.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a fantastic juxtaposition, a fantastic parallel for them to kind of make in this point. It's a really nice contrast, is what I'm trying to say. And what I like about this also is that standing off to the side, you saw Walker just watching along, kind of taking in, I can see the gears turning in his head going, oh, I didn't do so well.
I done messed up. In other words,
he's got it. Yeah. He's got it. I didn't got it. He got it.
And it's without him saying so, you could just see him kind of like relinquish, understand that he has to relinquish that Captain America title.
Yeah. Which is what I expected to happen. I expected there to be a point of revelation in Walker in this show where he was going to realize, I have to lay down the shield. I have to not be Captain America. I can't be Captain America. That's got to be Sam at this point. Yeah. And it happened in a slightly different way than I thought it was going to, but it still happened. Including when Sam was walking away, he just gave a nod to Walker, and Walker nodded back. There was the mutual understanding, like, that shield is yours. You are Captain America. I am not Captain America. Yeah, which I thought was really, really cool. But we kind of fast forward off of that. Hope Walker got that metal back from the dented shield, that trash can lid of a shield, which that's a nice pull, because Steve had a trash can. Anyway.
Yeah, actually.
Did you write that down, or was it off the top of your head quoting Sam back to himself? It's good. But yeah, that was it was an interesting way to kind of wrap up that, until we see the remaining Flag Smashers kind of get carted off, and you think, we're gonna see more from them, and then they're like, oh, we're gonna take them to the raft, and it's like, they're gonna face Zemo. Oh, that's gonna be fun. And then the truck go boom.
Yeah.
Truck go boom, Flag Smashers go boom. which is unfortunate because we saw their hesitancy earlier when Karli was trying to get them to recite the motto, one world, one people. And they were very hesitant on that after she's like, we could all die and this movement will continue on. Like, well, we don't really want to die, though. And it's unfortunate because I think, again, you're looking at a situation where they were all people who just wanted to fight for something better. They really didn't want to be thrusted into a killing spree and murdering people and whatever. They just wanted to make a point, get a point across. So it's a very like tragic thing, at least I think for the Karli's followers, the Flag Smasher followers there, that they're kind of guilty by association, so to speak.
Yeah. So we got it's Zemo's butler that basically sets everything off.
Yeah.
I do like that. Like after that, we got that shot of the raft in the water, like kind of a nice throwback to seeing it in Civil War. Just in case you forgot, this mega prison out in the middle of the ocean exists. Let's show it to you again. And then they actually show Zemo in the prison. Which, I mean, we were talking about before that we were thinking maybe they would hint a little bit about what Zemo's doing in the raft and like possibly like gearing up to creating the Thunderbolts in there. But no, we just got like a nice image of him hearing what's happening. He just sits there and smiles and then goes back to reading his book.
Yeah.
So
kicks back, relaxes. My job here is done, kind of a thing.
Yeah. So I love seeing that nice little throwback. And of course, like I really love Zemo. I wasn't a big fan of Zemo in the comics, like Baron Helmet Zero. Zemo Zero. I'm not a big fan. Like he's one of the lamest villains, I believe, in the comic books, but I really love him in the movies. So
that's the thing is like, maybe in the comics, but like in anytime he's like showed up animated, he's been kind of an interesting presence. And then like showing up in these movies, he's been a fantastic character here.
Yeah.
I am glad that we're definitely probably going to see him again. This was not the end of Zemo. But then we go back to kind of as we're nearing the end of some of the stuff that happens in this show. We're kind of doing like the storyline wrap ups here. Cut over to Val. Don't call her that. She's kind of a fun character now. We see her giving Walker a new suit.
Yeah.
Which is essentially the same suit, but it's black. Which is how we'll help identify him, I guess, against Captain America. I mean, amongst other ways. He's definitely kind of back into the right mindset because we can see him going, I'm back. Yeah, he's all excited to be a hero again, and which is good. That's where we want to see him. But her line here, and this is one of those other like moments in the show. It's like, okay, I know what you had to do here, but kind of corny. It's like, we don't need a Captain America. What we'll need from you is a U.S. agent.
Yeah, that was so forced. Like, really?
And again, she's an agent. She's like a SHIELD agent or what have you. And so he's saying he's an agent, and it's okay. You're still representing U.S. All right, it's fine. But it was still like it's kind of ham-fisted in there. But no matter what, we got U.S. agent. He's in play now. He's in play as U.S. agent.
It's pretty close to his costume from the comics. Yeah. I mean, there's a few small changes, but yeah, pretty much.
I know at one point he's worn blue, but I think there is a U.S. agent in the costume that is black. So
yeah,
pretty close. So that's a little wrap up. But we'll probably see. Well, I think we'll obviously see him again in the future. Now the question I have is because Val says to him, and I am going to call her Val. Get over it. Says to him that things are going to get weird. What is she referencing? Is she talking about things that could happen in a future Captain America movie that he could definitely be a part of? Or is she talking about things that are going to happen in a future Marvel show that he could also definitely still be a part of? We got some weird shows coming up. So
there's a chance Val may actually be working with Zemo on this, potentially. Maybe, who knows? That would be nice to see that maybe get like fleshed out a bit.
especially because we saw wish it was my idea. Maybe it was.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. But maybe it was. And it's like, okay, come on. Dangling that thread in front of you. Yank. Yank. But we go from that. We go to, again, we talked about this earlier. The scene I kind of really wanted to see for Bucky was the talk with Yori about
and
his
this
son.
is really like the wrap up of like the entire show now.
Yeah.
Like the whole season is wrapping up with this.
It's the bookend. We saw the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're seeing the end for Bucky's storyline here, which was admitting to Yori that he was the one that murdered his son. He did so as the Winter Soldier. His mind was wiped. He was brainwashed. He didn't have a choice. And that's kind of the extent of what we saw. We saw Yori asking why, and he's like, I didn't have a choice. And the next scene we see is him walking out of Yori's apartment. We don't see any further conversation between the two.
Which is what I was saying. I kind of wanted to see what Yuri's reaction would be, but at the same time, like, given what we were told back at the beginning that Winter Soldier is the type of person that he's the only one that could give relief to some of these people. This is one of those reliefs that he could just tell them, like, hey, here's what really happened, because Yuri had no idea. So
yeah. And
even if Yuri doesn't like Bucky ever again, he at least has closure. He knows what happened.
Yeah, and there's the two different ways that conversation could go down. There could be forgiveness, but it would be after a long conversation between the two. And I don't even know if you necessarily even see that happening within that conversation. But especially because, let's go back to Civil War. We saw how bad Tony took it when he found out that Winter Soldier killed his parents.
Mm-hmm.
It took a while, I think, before Tony got over that and was able to accept Bucky again. And I don't even think we even saw the two interact at all any further on in the series. Like, by Endgame, there was no interaction between the two of them on the battlefield. That was it.
Yeah.
So that was that. The other side for Yori would be that, I never want to see you again. Get out.
And so be it.
But that'll be fair. But at least Yori does have that closure, and that was the whole point for Bucky here, was to help other people, serve other people, and not necessarily make himself feel better. Being ushered out of Yori's apartment with harsh words would not make Bucky feel better, but it brings closure to Yori knowing what happened exactly to his son, which is why we see later when Bucky's walking down the street, we see Yori in the bar and he's smiling and enjoying himself because he's able to put to rest the side that's been bringing him pain for so long because he knows what happened.
Yep.
So that was a nice little character moment. And then we see what literally brought me to tears in this episode. I was like, dang, some good stuff that they're doing right here. And that was the conversation again with Sam and Isaiah. I didn't actually expect them to come back to Isaiah again. And I don't know why I didn't expect that. I should have been expecting that, because that's a storyline there that there was definitely more to do. And I liked the conversation there because the last time we left that off was Isaiah saying there's no way they're going to let a black man be Captain America. And he said there's no self-respecting black man that would want to be Captain America either. And then we see them come back to that. And Isaiah looks at him and goes, black Captain America, huh? And Sam's damn straight. I was like, yeah. I thought that whole conversation between the two of them was really good because you saw a little bit more levity in Isaiah. Like he's seen something that has brought him a little bit more peace.
He's been stuck in his ways, pretty much his ideals and his thoughts and opinions throughout this entire series. It's nice to see like Sam broke that and then see Isaiah's true emotion at like essentially change happening.
Maybe there can be hope. Maybe there can be hope out there, which is great. And then And then the moment that really broke me down was Sam taking Isaiah to the Captain America exhibit at the museum and showing him that there's a new piece to the exhibit that is dedicated to Isaiah Bradley. And that the whole line, the silence in that scene where he's just looking at the statue and then looking at his name and the story that's written about him. And then Sam says, now they'll never forget what you've done for this country, what you did for this country. Never. And just the embrace, and oh my gosh, I was lying in my bed last night watching this. I was like, damn it.
How do you think I feel? I was at work. My coworkers were walking in and out of the break room, and I'm like,
oh man, I ate some spicy lunch today. Yeah. It was so good.
Look, I'm tearing up again already.
Yeah, just thinking about it. It was so good. It was just excellently handled. Like, this is one of those moments I'm like, are we watching a comic book show right now? Are we watching a show that's based off comic book characters and superheroes and stuff? Because this is some good stuff right here.
I do like, so then it panned over to the statue and you saw they made like the light kind of fade. So like the shininess of the statue went, and like it changed how it accentuated the shadows on the statue's face. Mm-hmm. It looks so good.
Yeah. And then we wrap up the episode. After that, we get the hanging out with the crawfish boil and everything. We see our good buddies, Sam and Bucky, are pretty much best of friends. You saw the character arcs there for them go from just the bitter hate, like we begrudgingly work together. We hate each other, but it is what it is, kind of a thing too. They're basically.
Can you move your seat up? No.
Yeah. Yeah. Went from that to I hate you to the all right, you're welcome here anytime kind of a thing. This is I really Bucky is still flirting with Sarah. I don't know if we ever see anything actually happen there or not, but I thought it's just funny at least. Just because of the way
Bucky does like those Sam sisters, just saying. Or Sam's sister, I guess.
I know I see people talking online like, is there a chance that Io gave him the name White Wolf in Wakanda for reasons?
Okay.
And it's like, okay, come on, guys. I don't know where the Dora Milaje fit with what they do outside of their job descriptions, but yeah. Bucky's
needless to say, I want to go to a crawfish boil. That sounds delightful. I haven't been to one in a while.
Yeah, it was fun. It was funny though. There at the end there. What I like is that we are definitely getting a further story beyond this, and I know a lot of people talk about, are we getting a second season? I don't know if we are getting a second season because they went ahead and just dropped the name change essentially to Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
So does that mean we got to start calling this show Catwuss?
Yes, that's right.
And I know
we are no longer calling this Fat Wuss. We are now calling this Catwuss.
I know Rachel was jumping to our joke there at the beginning, but yeah.
Yeah, that's right. We're going in chronological order of what happens to the show, so we were not going to mention Catwuss until we got to Catwuss.
Yeah. Sorry, Lola. There's a Catwuss. She's looking at me like, you mother...
Well, your cat is kind of a wuss. But anyway.
She is kind of a cat wuss, yeah.
She's definitely a cat wuss. So that was real. That was like when that popped up, first it popped up with the just the show title. Say Captain America and the Winter Soldier. And again, it's dang near 3:00 in the morning here. I'm lying in bed. I'm watching this on my laptop. And that pops up and I'm like, hell yeah. Hell yeah. 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 Audibly by myself to no one else. And
I'm glad we're such an influence. Thanks, Rachel.
I actually low-key really love that.
Loki, you Loki love it.
So moving on. Well, I would bring him back, but he's standing up. Okay. All right, he's got his toy. Okay.
You Loki love it? I mean, loving Loki is
okay. So go to the final scene, the mid-credit scene of the show. And are you gonna be good? Okay.
Loki.
Yes, the mid-credit scene that pops up with the pardoning of Sharon. Sam made a promise. Sam fulfilled that promise to her. She has been pardoned, which is probably not the best idea in the world at this point. But hey,
we don't know what she's doing.
Nope. They offered her the position in her old division, which tells me that S.H.I.E.L.D. is still around and kicking. And she's being given the Agent Sharon Carter title again. Does that still make her Agent 13? Who knows? But my question is she walks out of there on the phone with somebody. She's saying, forget super soldiers. We have access to government secrets, developing weapons, all sorts of stuff. What do you want, kind of thing? We can line up our buyers. So who is she working with as the power broker?
Well, no, is she the power broker, or is this other person she's talking to is the power broker and she works for the power broker?
I don't know. Again, I would assume that she was the power broker because Karli mentioned it, but they did write it in such a way where it could still be ambiguous.
It's
as
super
to whether
ambiguous.
Whether or not she is the power broker. The question, though, is who's she working with? What is she representing? Is she working with some scrolls? Because we know we got some scroll action coming up. Is she actually a scroll herself? That's definitely in play. It is definitely in play.
Scroll action coming up. Really? You had to phrase it like that? Let me get some scroll action.
Yes. There's going to be some action with scrolls in Secret Invasion.
Okay.
The word action has many different meanings. So she could actually be representing a scroll herself because we know that certain people that we've known for a while could pop up and end up being scrolls, and that could very well be a thing.
There's also that she might still have ties to Nick Fury, and therefore Nick Fury has ties to the scrolls as well. Who knows?
Or she could be talking to somebody who's involved with the 10 Rings. That's an organization that has been around in Marvel for a while, hasn't had a whole lot of screen time until the upcoming Shang-Chi movie that's coming. With the
possibly
with the Mandarin.
Yeah.
So is she talking to someone who's a part of the 10 Rings? Is there another evil organization out there? Marvel's filled with evil organizations. So is there another one out there that has been introduced at some point? AIM.
She's talking to MODOK.
She's talking to MODOK. That would be sick.
I can't wait to see MODOK in a live action movie. And they better not wuss out, or cat wuss or fat wuss. They better not wuss out. Make MODOK look like the flying head with the dangling legs and arms.
I think at this point they absolutely could commit to it and people would be fine with it. The other thing is I know a lot of people theorize that maybe what's his name? I had his name and it just left me. Robot guy from Captain America First Avenger. No. The guy, right-hand man to Red Skull.
Oh, yes.
Arnim Zola. Got it. Zola.
Yeah,
my
Zola.
mind was like, it's Zemo. I was like, it's not Zemo. It's Zemo. It's not Zemo. Zola, the other Z named guy.
Yeah, she got a position back in the CIA, not S.H.I.E.L.D. They're still not officially saying S.H.I.E.L.D. is back together yet.
She was in CIA. Okay. Well,
yep.
I know she was S.H.I.E.L.D. in Winter Soldier, so there's that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so, could she be working for Zola? Is Zola still around in some capacity somewhere? So, if there's anything that could be happening here, we will definitely probably find out in the fourth movie.
We are getting a fourth movie because they announced that today.
Yep.
So I would have thought they would have waited till Monday to make that announcement. Give everyone the weekend a chance to see this, but no, they announced that there's going to be a fourth Captain America movie, and methinks it probably will not be starring Chris Evans. So I'm happy to see Anthony Mackie taking front and center on a Captain America movie. I like this because they're quickly diving into a more modern, current Marvel with Sam Wilson as Captain America. You got Thor: Love and Thunder is going to be dabbling in the Jane Foster as Thor role that was more recent in the comics as well. So yeah, I love what they're doing with this, and it's gonna be kind of weird to see how they do these storylines nowadays. So
we're obviously building to some young Avengers. There's been a lot of them that have popped up. One of them has been in this show. All sorts of stuff. What's really cool to me, though, on the next Captain America movie is that the showrunner of this show, he is going to be in charge of bringing the fourth Captain America movie together.
Makes sense. He was in charge of bringing them to the screen here. So
I want to say his name is Malcolm Spellman, something like that.
That sounds good.
But yeah, great. Perfect. Yeah, who cares if we're right or not? Yeah, so it's gonna be good. I love that they're taking it's not gonna skip a beat. It's not gonna skip a beat from the show. It's gonna be tone wise ushered right into Captain America 4 again, setting the tone for the new Captain America movies.
Yeah, because if you think about it, and we'll probably dive more into this on the tagline this coming Tuesday. Since this is a big major movie news, we'll probably talk about some more. But if you think about this, the show was started with Captain America handing Sam the shield saying, "You're the new Captain America." And it ends with Sam being the new Captain America. If you were to have not watched this series at all, you would have seen him get the shield at the end of Endgame and then start Captain America 4 as Captain America, as originally planned by Steve Rogers at the end of Endgame. This entire series was completely unnecessary to the idea of Sam is going to be Captain America. This is just nice to see that storyline, but I mean, it still would have happened anyways. How does that affect your idea of how this show was?
I would say there's a better way of wording that. It's unnecessary to people like our parents who aren't going to spend time on Disney Plus at all, no matter what pops up on the service, and are just going to only watch whatever movies pop up. Mm-hmm. So they're going to go from Endgame to Captain America 4 and be like, cool, he's got the shield. Sounds good. All right, he's the new Captain America. Great. Without seeing the storyline that was presented here, which I think in a different viewpoint is actually a vitally necessary story for people to pay attention to at this time. So there's that. Yeah. But yeah. But it was awesome to see Sam use his wings to shield that pilot, a more effective use of the wings than Wonder Woman did before.
That was cool. He held the shield up and then the wings wrapped around like a dome type of thing. It was cool. I like that.
Which is like, of course, those wings are probably made of vibranium. He probably got them from Wakanda. Those were what were in the case. I don't know how they fit in that case, but those were what were in the case.
They retracted.
I guess so. So, he's got vibranium wings, vibranium shield. I'm ready to see him in action more in the Captain America role now. So, yeah, that'll be a ton of fun. But anyways, guys, let us know any other questions you got in the chat. Did you have anything else to add to this?
I like this. This is what I was thinking also. I would like to see a Bucky series. The thing is, like, a lot of the stuff I would have wanted to see in a Bucky series, they kind of really touched upon here. I just would have liked to have seen it fleshed out a little bit more. I kind of would like to have seen, like, how Bucky was dealing with the training and losing the hypnosis with the words and stuff. How does he break free from his Winter Soldier past? They showed it in this, and I feel like it's kind of unnecessary to go back and rehash that in his own series. But other than that, moving forward, I don't know exactly what I would want to see from a Bucky series. I feel like at this point it would be more like the Bucky and this Captain America Falcon guy.
And yeah, Davlen brings up his Book of Atonement would have been a great series. I'm thinking like a more adult version of 100 Deeds for Eddie McDowd. That's a poll for those of you who don't know. But that's back Nickelodeon show where a guy got turned into a dog and had to like do kind things for people he wronged in order to turn back into a human.
Speaking of his book, didn't you have an image of that too?
Yeah. So the funny thing about this is that there's a list of names in this book. When he returned it to the therapist, we got a pretty good close up. One of these names over on the left side, second from the top, is P.W. Hauser. For those who don't know, Sebastian Stan, as Bucky, worked with a gentleman on a movie called I, Tonya. This gentleman's name is Paul Walter Hauser.
He's also known for the Karate Kid series Cobra Kai.
For those of you who follow us, you know that we are involved with something called the Movie Trivia Schmodown. Paul Walter Hauser, also a competitor in the Movie Trivia Schmodown. So there's a fun little connection there. It's I think that was just kind of thrown in there for fun, just like, ooh, we're gonna drop a name in here. And I don't know if any of those other names in that book mean anything or are pointed towards anybody else. I didn't really do that dive, and I'm probably not going to. But I just thought that was kind of a fun one to highlight. Like, oh, he worked with Paul W. Hauser, and Paul Walter Hauser in I, Tonya. Oh, and we know that he's going to be a competitor in this showdown.
What's funny, though, is you told me like the name Hauser is in the book, and my first thought was Total Recall.
Yeah.
It was like Schwarzenegger?
Yeah, Schwarzenegger's in there. And you did have a book of pop culture stuff to catch up with.
Yeah, he's also in the Cruella movie. That's right. He's one of her minions. He always plays a minion in everything. Or as we like to call it, the Video Drew movie. Yeah, due to her new hairstyle.
Video Drew is one word.
Good pull. So as we move on, if y'all have any other questions, comments, anything about Fat Wuss, or now known as Cat Wuss, please drop those in the chat. A couple of things as we wrap this up. Yes, we have to wait until June to see Loki, and we will be doing a Loki watch along, and that one, as you can tell, I'm super eager for, because I love the character of Loki. We might do something a little bit different with that, though. I'm not going to fully drop it, but there's going to be a little bit of a change as to how we do these watch-alongs when we get to the Loki one. So stay tuned to what was it, the tagline? We might talk about it, Twitter, the future announcements. We will be talking about the Loki series as we go on. The other one that's right around the corner.
Yes, we'll be making that change you were speaking of will be happening for at least the next two series, one of which being the Bad Batch, which is coming up next. It will not be featuring this one because he's not watched the Clone Wars, so he does not know anything about the characters who are the Bad Batch, even though he could literally just probably watch the last few episodes of the last season of Clone Wars and he could probably be caught up on them. Doesn't matter.
Don't have a whole lot of time, y'all.
Yeah. Doesn't really matter, though. I will be doing a breakdown of all the Bad Batch episodes. I know the first week is going to be nuts. There's going to be like 4 episodes in that first week, but I'm not going to be doing it alone. I'm going to have somebody here with me. So there will be a special guest who we will announce. I would say we probably announce that one on Tagline, right?
Yeah.
It'll be the week before. Yeah. We'll announce that one on Tagline. Come back Tuesday night, 9:30 Central Time. We will be letting you know who will be joining me at least on the first episode, if not for a majority of the episodes of the Bad Batch breakdown. I know there's a couple people I've been talking to, so could be fun.
Yeah, this definitely knows more about Star Wars than me.
Yeah. Yep. Anyway, guys, I don't see any more questions, so we're going to start wrapping this up here. If you are not already part of our Patreon, boom, there's the link right there, patreon.com/Cinefanatics, guys. We would love to have you jump in there and join us. At least at the $1 tier, you get access to our Discord there, which is where we're trying to build the movie loving community up in there. And
okay.
I set you up.
Rest in peace, DMX.
Yep, there you go. Anyway, we got the Discord there. At the dude tier, we have watch-alongs. We're doing watch-alongs. I believe we've done one for this month already. We did Thor. We just did Thor this week. Man, wow. Yeah,
that was like 2 nights ago.
Exactly. We just did Thor this week, so if you want to go back and check out that one, I believe that we had a special guest join us on that one. I believe Kelsey from C2A jumped on there and joined us for that, so it was a lot of fun to hang out with her during that watch along. If you guys haven't seen it yet, go back, watch that when you got a moment to check that out along with Thor. ton of fun. We're also doing movie trivia nights. We are, as we said, part of the Schmodown, the first class league in the Schmodown. So we are ramping up trivia nights. Come on board at the Maverick tier. Join us for those. We are gearing up our studying like crazy right now because we've both got stuff coming up that's going to be a ton of fun. So you're going to want to come hang out with us at that tier. Also, we do let you know after our matches have aired what our thoughts were, kind of giving you the behind the scenes breakdown after we've had a match that airs. So you're definitely going to want to come join us. And then the other thing real quick before we start wrapping it up completely, this Sunday, that is literally in 2 days, is Oscar night. Snuck up on you too, didn't it? Yeah, it did. It's the Oscar night, and in years past, we have done a watch-along of the Oscars. This year, it's going to be so much simpler because all we have to do is sit in our nice, comfy chairs and do it from our computers.
My new comfy chair.
You're nice. Yeah, it is actually a comfy chair. I sat in that thing. It's very comfortable. So we are doing a Oscars watch-along. Do we have that image in here? Yes, we do. There it is. It is going to be at 4:30 Pacific time, 7:30 Eastern.
We're going to start 30 minutes before the Oscars do so we can kind of wrap up our thoughts. Like, for example, yesterday I cranked out watching both The Father and Minari. So I knocked out 2 movies. So like our thoughts, feelings, and opinions on what might win may change from the last time we talked about the Oscar nominations. So we're going to start 30 minutes early, kind of give like a quick, brief run through of what we think may happen. And then we're going to be watching it live with y'all, hopefully right here on this channel. So make sure you come join us. Again, was it 4:30? What is it? 4:30 Pacific, 7:30 Eastern. For as long as the Oscars are on, we're going to be live streaming. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Come join us for that.
Grab your snacks, all your goodies for your Oscar viewing pleasure, and come just hang out with us all night. It's going to be a ton of fun. Ton of fun. And then the last thing I'll mention is that I just dropped this on Twitter. I will be starting my Twitch streaming on April 30th. That is not today, but I believe a week from it's a week from today. And I'll be doing that in the afternoon, 1 p.m. Central Time, I believe, till probably like 5:30 Central Time, 5:36, somewhere around there. So I'm going to be streaming new Pokemon Snap coming out that day. So it's a new game, new stream. Everything's brand new. I would love it if you guys come hang out with me on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/ChrisAdamsMLP. Give me a follow over there if you haven't already clicked over there and done that. And we'll see you then too.
So it is twitch.tv/what?
/ my handle, ChrisAdamsMLP. Everything. Branding, guys, just make everything the same thing. That's the way to do it.
It does make things easier. So there you go. Click the link there in the chat. Go over there, give him a follow. Even if you're not completely familiar with Twitch, let's all learn together because I don't know. So
it's not that hard. It's not that hard.
Yeah. Anyways, let's go ahead and wrap this thing up. Make sure y'all follow us. Come back Tuesday nights, 9:30 p.m. Central Time. That is 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 Eastern for the tagline. The show where the tagline is the title. We're going to be talking about movie news. And one of the big things this coming Tuesday will be my official review for Mortal Kombat, which I'm about to watch here in a few minutes. So come back for my thoughts and feelings because he's not going to watch that gory movie. So I'm super huge fan of this. I am eager to watch this movie. So let's go ahead and quickly wrap this up. So come back for the tagline for my thoughts, feelings, opinions, and other movie news, including talking about Captain America 4. Also, we've got other stuff that as it will be popping up, movie trailers as we can get to them. That will also be happening on this channel. For this video tonight, y'all, make sure you drop us a like because this is YouTube and that's how YouTube thrives. Also, drop us a comment if you are watching this on a replay, you're not watching it live. Make sure you share this with your friends and family. Let them know, hey, I like these guys' content. You watch it too. We'll all like your content together. That would be fantastic. And also, as always, make sure you subscribe. Hit the subscribe button down below. It helps us out and will let you know if you ring that bell the next time we're going to go live so you can be here at the top of the show when we do all kinds of funny things to awkwardly introduce ourselves. Of course, we also like to awkwardly end it, which is what I'm about to do. So as for all of us, I'm doing that on purpose, I know. As for my brother, as for myself, y'all in the chat, thank y'all for being here tonight. Thank y'all for watching. We are going to wrap this up, so go enjoy something else. Enjoy a movie. Come back on. See, I've told you I'm making it awkward. Come back on Tuesday. Let's talk about what movies you watched. It's going to be a lot of fun. We will see y'all later.
I'm ending it.